Good morning to 134, day 134. Going through the swimming pool as always. Got labourers clearing up. What the hell's going on there? Labourers clearing up. Guys getting the boxing ready for pouring. Morning. Little units ready for boxing up too. It's all good news. Lasers out. Okay. Lasers working, that's good. Let's have a quick flick, see what happens with the Zader.
Morning.
Tyson, man, morning.
Good morning.
You're live as always, Tyson. You're live as always. What's with the gloves then? I had mine cupped yesterday.
Huh?
I had mine cupped.
Are you a cup?
Yeah. They hot cups on it.
Put off you. Oh.
Yeah, I'll show you later.
All right.
Anyway, good morning.
Yes.
How are you, buddy? So we've got lasers out. What is the laser out for, I wonder? I wonder. So in here, obviously, they're going to be boxing up in here today. They've got to tie that beam in. We said yesterday they managed to box it in now, so that's ready for pour. So that's boxed up now. They're going to tie that ring beam into here. The ring beams, for those out there that are watching that don't know it, they hold all the walls together. So the ring beam goes in, this is going in at 8 foot. They normally go in a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher. But the ring beam actually holds all the walls together. And then the starter bars meaning little tiny short bars that hang out like that are extended. And as you can see then, they're extended enough to take another 4 blocks. So the actual height in here is going to be 12 feet. We're currently at 8 feet plus that bar, so we're currently just about 9 feet. So there's another 3 feet to go on top of it. Again, today they'll be boxing up things like this, so we'll get that extended. Food pile number 1. That's got to be taken into here, so I don't know how he's going to do that. But ideally needs to go through the beam as well, so we need to make sure that gets sorted before they concrete that in, otherwise we've got another problem. That doorway's been opened up, that one's been extended, that's been extended as well. Again, he's actually a mason, but I'm sure today he's going to be a carpenter, boxing that in, so that can be poured as well to that line where the block would be. This is a 4-foot doorway, so I need to make sure that Wayne, I've seen Wayne, I haven't seen him this morning, make sure that he's going to mark out that door frame, make sure he's happy with that. What else? Obviously these guys are carrying on with this beam here, which has got to be poured. They've got to extend this one today and finish that off, but again that's got to go over to that one, so they'll probably do that one last. And like I said, they've got to actually get the beam designed for the front as well, so I need to chase the engineer on that today. So as you can see here, it's a bloody mess, which is why probably the labourers up here trying to make an attempt to clear up. And we still need to get that window frame there sorted. Why that's not been picked up, I do not know. They can blatantly see that that window is too wide, but they've got to put the boxing in anyway. So we've got to get that sorted, that's for sure. We're ordering a new window. Obviously these have got to be sorted as well, as of those. The starter bar's got to be put into here. Column's got to be boxed up. So today I assume they're going to be boxing up and pouring whatever they physically can, as well as trying to rectify some of the issues we have in the garden where the drainage is concerned. So still plenty to get on with. This staircase needs to be sorted as well. They're taking the blocks away, so we need to make sure we get that sorted out. They've also got the steps marked out now, and they're also going to put the boxing in for it as well. We just need to make sure that we get that finished off and work with the rebar guys. Down here, let me show you what's going on here. So more mud. Morning, Elvis. How are you, buddy? You good? I'm sure it's so wet down here. Okay, so they've got an issue here. Issue here meaning by the time you actually take that pipe through here, you're too low at that end. So they've got to take all this mud up here. They've got to take this mud up, and they've got to ensure that this pipe is actually high enough to get a fall that lands up making this end in here, which I'll show you inside. It's got to be about 4 inches higher. So that's got to be 4 inches higher to allow that one to be high enough to flow. Otherwise, all of that's got to be taken up and rebuilt. I personally would rebuild that anyway because it's in the wrong place. But anyway, that's not high enough, which means the flow at this present time is nowhere near enough to get the flow of sewage and water that's needed. So anyway, we're going to get that looked at today because that's got to be rectified sooner rather than later. That's being blocked up, which is a real shame, but that's the way it is. I'll probably get all that wood and everything out before they do that. But anyway, I'll get that looked at in a second. Morning, how are you? You alright? Good, good. So I need to find Wayne and find out what he's up to make sure we can build a plan and make sure the plan is clear, because at the moment everyone's cracking on, but I'm not too sure they're clear what they're meant to be doing. So anyway, let's find the man. Okay, so just showing you something that takes place when things aren't done correctly. So, this was all backfilled in here. All this pipe was backfilled. So, this is all got to be dug out now because the redundant support was not put into here. So now, you got what? So, what you should be doing on all pipe work is literally under the ground, supporting with sand, cement. Sorry? Yes. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing, 4-inch. Yeah. So this should normally be a concrete blinding of some sort, sand, concrete blocks, and then the block is the pipe's meant to be poured with concrete over the top. This came up in the air when this was applied. So now what we're doing is having to dig it all back up again. So it's actually bent itself, the pipe.
I got the panic and the weight.
Oh, crushed. So we have a crushed
That
pipe.
got changed. I ain't got changed. I got the panic with the weight. That's where you got to put mark on.
Yeah.
We know that. What the fuck you didn't tell me so? What are you telling me so far?
You might be able to, George might be able to heat that and get that creek back out.
I saw George first.
Yeah, he's up here still somewhere. Yeah. So you can see at the moment there is blocks in here somewhere. There was a bit of that bit of pipe was underneath that one, which is clearly not sufficient because with weight that would just bend. So we've got to literally put support here, a support here, a support where that bucket is, and another support over where that hinge is. All four, and they've got to be on solid ground with concrete, with sand, and with concrete filled block. And then we've got the best part of 4 ton of mud to go on top of it. Best part, if you're lucky. So over here,
What do you think we're doing? What do you think so far?
that's what happens when you don't do it right.
What do you think they're
So that needs to be heated and bent back out, which we might be able to do without having to replace it, but that's got to be propped up
We put in
all the way along. That is actually low. That's really low down there.
Right here, look.
Yeah, I see it. But that's also low as well, isn't it? The whole pipe's low. That elbow's low. That elbow there is also too low.
Look at right here, look.
So that's going to be sorted as well.
You see what I'm trying to show you? Go ahead and here, lastly. Go ahead and pull off.
So anyway, as you can see, this is now costing money. Digging it up and rectifying it by not doing it right in the first place is an essential thing to avoid. So at this present time, we've got to do the same with that pipe over there as well. So don't backfill until 1, it's done properly, 2, the plumber tests the flow, and 3, tests the leaks. And once it's done, then you backfill. Builders worldwide, not just here. So now what we've actually done is dug around the pipe in certain areas, and we're now making sure it's at level, and then concreting completely around underneath and above the pipe to make sure that the pipes are now held in place. So we'll try and force that concrete down underneath, make sure the concrete gets right underneath. We're actually down to the mile floor now, and then we'll concrete all the way around, and even on top as well to ensure that it protects the pipe and holds the pipe in place. So one bit's had to be cut out because it basically folded. They're going to do the same there as well. They're literally going to dig right down to the mile, concrete right down. And now we're actually starting this side as well. So this one's got to be dug down. As you can see, we're at a level at the bottom that's quite an angle. And that end is too low by about 3 to 4 inches. So we've measured to ensure that we can actually raise that pipe. But in order to raise it, all of this has got to be dug up right down to where it needs to be. We've got to do the same thing, concrete all the way around every 4 feet, and then backfill once that concrete's gone off, increasing the level at the other end by a minimum 3 inches. So again, get the job right done in the first place. Get the job done right. Don't cut corners, because all it does is just cost money. The good thing about it is, set the guys a goal, create a bit for lunch. You do get a bit of a different take on what being done. So 11:15, a couple of little goals set for the guys to try and get the drainage up and reset. And we've also marked out the front steps into the house to work out how they're going to work. And we've also now started looking at the front garbage wall retaining element where the electrics and gas and water is going to go. Services that come into the road themselves. We've got water services here, got electrical services coming down. They'll come into like a small unit. So we've blinded the floor inside, and now it's being rebarred, waiting for the concrete floor footings and the block walls to go around. That then forms part of the garden wall that will come to here, that adjoins this one over here. So the garden gates themselves will be on the front, connected to this. So just behind that is the first manhole, and that manhole was also meant to be going down the side of the building straight for everything else. So as we know, it's all off, unfortunately, but that's a different story. So anyway, that's where that is, and then the blocks, as and when, if they ever arrive, will start coming in and going into the floor here after they've actually done the footings. The front gate itself, there's the front gate. So you can see now that we've actually got the 5 steps coming down from the original 3, and then the pavement itself on the bottom will actually come at an angle from the front. So the pavement itself will join the actual front wall, and then thereafter will become grass down the side. But all this here will be concrete all the way through in the front of the actual garage itself. The guys are upstairs. Oh, I'll just get upstairs. The guys are upstairs at the moment, boxing in beams, tying in, like we said about yesterday, this morning even. This has all been poured and unboxed, as you can see. So that was done yesterday, which is good. So that was unboxed earlier on today, so we can see that. Starter bars have got to be increased in here. And over there, the guys are actually working on the unit at the moment over there, boxing in the columns, boxing in the actual top piece. So that's obviously still to be done so far.